my amazing, wonderful, hilarious, smart, fun, world-changing friends. I am so glad to be with you again today, this morning. I have some jokes to make you laugh, hopefully to bring a smile to your face. You ready? Who was the fastest runner in the race? Adam, because he was first in the human race. Right? Yes? Did it make you smile? Okay, why couldn't Jonah trust the ocean? Because he knew there was something fishy about it. Why did the man run around his bed? Because he was trying to catch up on sleep. One more. What did one hat say to the other hat? Stay here, I'm going on ahead. Oh, guys, I miss you, and I miss seeing you and hearing from you. I hope that put a smile on your face, and I hope it made you feel great and good. Let's do an attitude check.
Attitude check. I feel good. Oh, I feel so good. Ha!
Guys, we are in the smack dab middle of talking about the Beatitudes. What are Beatitudes exactly? Is it a bee with an attitude? No, it's not a bee with an attitude. The Beatitudes are part of the Sermon on the Mount that we can read about in the book of Matthew, chapter 5. It's a pretty famous sermon that Jesus gave. These are short but powerful descriptions of what it looks like to live God's way. Now, at first glance, when you're first looking at the Beatitudes, they can seem a little bit confusing, but they are really upside down from the messages that we hear from the world all around us, right? Jesus turns the world upside down. When Jesus uses the word blessed in the Beatitudes, he's talking about being full and satisfied with the contentment that comes from knowing God. So let's do our Beatitudes together. Let's read the whole thing. We're going to be in Matthew. Is Matthew in the Old Testament or the New Testament? The New Testament, smarty pants. The New Testament, it's the first book of the New Testament. It is a gospel text. We are in chapter 5, big number 5. Matthew, big number 5. I have invited our friend Beatrice to read part of our text with us today. Are you ready? Follow along with me and Beatrice. Now when Jesus, saw the crowds, he went up on a mountainside and sat down. His disciples came to him, and he began to teach them, saying, "Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are those who mourn, for they will be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they will inherit the earth. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be filled. Blessed are the merciful, for they will be shown mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they will see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called sons of God. Blessed are the persecuted because of righteousness, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are you when people insult you, persecute you, and falsely say all kinds of evil against you because of me." Thank you, Beatrice, for joining us today as we read through the Beatitudes. Today we are focusing on two Beatitudes that are right in the middle of the passage. We are in verse 7 and verse 8. That is our focus today, verse 7 and verse 8. Let's read them again together. Okay? Beatrice closed my Bible. Verse 7. Blessed are the merciful, for they will be shown mercy. Verse 8. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they will see God. Let's start with verse 7. Blessed are the merciful, for they will receive mercy. Here to talk us through that is my friend Douglas. Let's give this video a listen.
I demand justice. Hey guys, it's me again, Douglas, and today I'm continuing in our series on the Beatitudes. Yeah, and we're talking about, the Beatitude we're talking about is found in Matthew chapter 5, verse 7, and it says, Blessed are the merciful, for they will be shown mercy. Now, mercy is like forgiveness, right? So, blessed are the merciful means blessed are the people who forgive others because they will be shown forgiveness, right? But, it can be really hard to be merciful because, we want things to be fair. We want things to be just. We want things to be right, so long as it benefits us. Otherwise, we don't really care about justice. We don't care about justice so long as we're the ones that benefit. At my school, there's this vending machine, and it's really, really old, and it's got like chips and candy and stuff in there that you put the little coin in the vending machine, and then you make your selection, and then it gives you the thing that you asked for. Now, everybody loves this vending machine because, well, it's so old that oftentimes you'll put in a quarter and you'll get the candy that you want, but then you'll also get something else, right? It accidentally will drop more than one thing a lot. And so I like to take my allowance and, get a candy bar or a bag of chips or something because it'll usually give me more than I paid for. It's awesome. Everybody loves it. But there was this one day where I put in my money and I made my selection and I pushed the button and it kind of makes this roaring sound, this buzzing sound, and then it did not drop the bag of chips. And so I kind of hit it a little bit and it didn't do anything, and I pushed the coin return thing so that it'll at least give me my money back, but it didn't even give me my money back. And so I'm like, I'm getting really, really upset here, and I'm yelling, and I'm kind of shaking the thing, and I'm kind of running into it and trying to knock it down, or just to give me my chips that I asked for, at least give me the chips that I paid for. And I'm totally making a scene. I'm yelling and I'm screaming and I'm shaking this thing trying to get it to go, and people are kind of looking at me like I'm crazy because, well, I was kind of crazy in that moment. I was just furious that it did not give me the bag of chips that I had paid for with the money that I worked so hard for my allowance, and it wasn't fair. I was so mad. But it's not like I was mad when I got more than I paid for. Could you imagine if I had paid for a bag of chips and it gave me a bag of chips and some candy and I had the same epic level meltdown? Be like, oh, I only paid for a bag of chips. I don't want this candy too. Ah! No, that's not going to happen. You get more than you paid for and you're like, great, that's awesome. When we do something wrong, when we hurt someone's feelings or we do something we should not have done, we really, really like it when people forgive us. But if someone does something bad to us, we always seem to want something bad to happen to them, right? And you see that in movies and TV and stuff, like people love a revenge story. Like someone does something mean to you, there are whole movies about somebody plotting their revenge against this person who wronged them, and we look at those people as heroes. It's like, good for you, you got justice. That's not what Jesus is saying. Jesus is saying, good for you. You showed mercy. You forgave. Because the truth is, I think most people kind of view themselves as a pretty good person, right? And so they get so mad when something is unfair against them because they're like, I can't believe you would be so mean to me, right? I'm such a great person. But then when we do something wrong, we're like, oh, it was just a mistake. I'm normally not like this, and so you should cut me some slack, right? You should be nice to me. You should forgive me for doing something mean because I'm a good person. But the truth is, we all do things for which we need forgiveness, right? We all do bad things. Jesus was the only one to never ever sin. And so you might think of yourself as a good person. You might be a pretty good person, but the truth is, you need forgiveness. You do. And so you should show forgiveness. You should be merciful to others because there's going to be a time where you need mercy. And so that's my challenge to you guys today, is that you would be merciful, right? That you would forgive other people. That you wouldn't be so obsessed with, getting even that you forget that you also sin. Jesus said, blessed are the merciful, for they will be shown mercy.
Man, that was some really good stuff in there. God is with people who are kind and forgiving to other people, for they will be shown kindness and forgiveness too. That beatitude, love one another as you want to be loved. Let's move on and let's look at verse 8 together. We're covering 2 beatitudes today. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. Let's breaking this down a little bit, okay? We know what blessed means. Blessed means God is with. So God is with the pure in heart. What does pure mean anyway? I believe I can answer that. Hey, it's our friend Sunday school lady. You kind of need a haircut. It's a pandemic. Oh, you're right. Sorry. Okay, Sunday school lady, please tell us, what does pure mean? The definition of the word pure is free of any contamination, not mixed with any other substance or material. The definition of pure-hearted when speaking of a person is without malice, treachery, or evil intent, honest and sincere. Hey, that's really good information. Thanks, Sunday school lady. It's easy for everyone to understand doing the right thing on the outside for others to see. But what Jesus is talking about here is changing our heart, changing the way we think, changing the way we feel on the inside, so we're doing the right things for the right reasons. When you do that, you change not only our actions, but our hearts. Jesus is telling us that when we have a pure heart, we will see God. Oh, you guys, it's so much easier to look pure and to convince other people that we are pure than it is for us to actually have a pure heart. At least for me, anyway. It's easier to deal with like our physical outward stuff, like not hitting people, things like that, than our inward inside stuff, isn't it? It's one thing to do what's right. It's another thing to want to do what's right. Purity of heart begins when we do what we do to please God rather than to impress other people. A person with a pure heart is constantly aware of God's presence. They always know that God is with them. A person with a pure heart is content with God's praise and God's approval and God's admiration rather than the people around them, the humans on earth that are staring at them, right? A person with a pure heart is controlled by God's priorities. That means things that are important to God become important to you. Now, here's the bummer part. We can't make our hearts pure. But the really great part is that we can allow God to do this work in us. In the book of Psalms, there's one of my very favorite verses. Psalms chapter 51, verse 10 says, "Create in me a clean heart, O God." And it's one of the prayers that I pray for myself over and over and over again. I think you too should pray that prayer. God, create in me a clean heart, a pure heart. Give me a pure heart, God. Let what's important to you be important to me. Let what's on my outside match what's on my inside. God is with the people who not only change their actions and what they do and how they act on the outside, but also change their heart on the inside and how they feel. They get to see God. Let's have a little example here from our old friend, the professor.
Oh, yes, hello, it is me, the professor. It has been a while since I've seen you. You have grown this way. Yes, I am glad to see you today. Today we are going to be doing a little experiment on perspective. You see, do you see this tree behind me? Can you see this tree? Yes, affirmative. Yes, your answer? Yes, okay, great. Let's look at this small book. Do you see this small book? Also, with your ocular devices here? Your eyes? Yes, you see this book. Okay, now I have a question to ask you. is this book larger than the tree? No, no, no. This book is not larger than the tree. Correct. Correct. The tree is much larger than this very small book. Okay, so when I am here, this book is much smaller than the tree. But let's say I come this way with the book. Can you still see the tree behind me? Oh, yes, you can. Okay. How about now? Can you still see the tree behind me? Yes, you see those branches. What about now? What about now? Can you see the tree behind me? You cannot see the tree anymore. This tiny little book? Oh, it is so close. It's become too large for you to see the very large growing tree that is standing right here behind me. Now, does that mean that the book suddenly got larger than the tree? No, 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 no. It is all about perspective, right? It has become so large when it is here that it blocks your view. We just need to move it back down, move it to the side, move it out from directly in front of your eyeballs for you to be able to see the tree again. Now, young scientists, what I want you to know from this demonstration is the same thing can happen to our heart when we choose to make other things more important than Jesus. When we focus on something other than Jesus. Yes, are you with me? Perhaps you can focus on getting a toy that someone else is playing with. That desire can block out the view of God. And that people were made in God's image. Oh, yes, it can block it out when you get so focused on it. Yes, or perhaps you need a different example. What if we focus on our friends and the opinions of our friends, and we hold the opinions of our friends so close to our face that it blocks our view of what God thinks of us, what God is speaking to us, that we were created in God's own image. Or about our time. What if we spend the majority of our time at the computer? We are playing games. We are playing the video games that you do like to. You are surfing the internet. Yes, is this a thing? It may end up that those activities stay so close to our heart that they block our view of God and seeing the goodness of God in the world and God's people all around us. Now, does that mean these things are bad? Toys and the video games and the friends? Are those bad because they block our view? No, they are not bad. They are not bad themselves, right? But when they become our focus, when we hold them too close, and our perspective changes, our view of God changes, our heart starts to become mixed with other things, and it blocks our view of God instead of keeping our heart pure. We have to step back. We have to refocus. We have to move those things that are blocking our view of our great big God. Because if our heart is pure, we have a clear view of God.
Let's sing our Beatitude song together. Ready?
Blessed are the poor in spirit, those who see the sin in their hearts. Blessed are the ones who are weeping, 'cause sin has torn the whole world apart. Blessed are the meek and humble, God will freely give them all things. Blessed are the ones who are hungry and thirst for justice and wait on their King. We are the salt of the earth, so we're gonna shake, shake, shake
with me.
Blessed are the merciful, whose sins are forgiven, so they can forgive. Blessed are the pure in heart, God will show His face to them. We are the salt of the earth, so we're gonna shake, shake, shake like a salt shaker. We are the light of the world, so we're gonna shine, shine, shine till the night's no more. We're gonna shine, shine, shine till the night's no more. La, 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 Blessed are the ones who make peace, loving others with the Savior's love. Blessed are those bullied for their faith, great in God's kingdom will be their reward. We are the salt of the earth, so we're gonna shake, shake, shake like a salt shaker. We are the light of the world, so we're gonna shine, shine, shine till the night's no more. We are the salt of the earth, so we're gonna shake, shake, shake like a salt shaker. We are the light of the world, so we're gonna shine, shine, shine till the night's no more. We're gonna shine, shine, shine till the night's no more.
Do not forget, we are learning our books of the New Testament, but this is the last week we're going to talk about our books of the New Testament together. Okay, so we're going to practice them here in a minute. I do not want you to forget them. My turn, and then your turn. Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, Acts, Romans, 1 Corinthians, 2 Corinthians, Galatians, Ephesians, Philippians, Colossians, 1 Thessalonians, 2 Thessalonians, 1 Timothy, 2 Timothy, Titus, Philemon, Hebrews, James, 1 Peter, 2 Peter, 1 John, 2 John, 3 John, Jude, Revelation. Now here's the thing, we're going to say them together one more time, but I do not want you to forget them. So if you call me this week, or you can send me a Marco Polo, or you can send me a video, or you can FaceTime me, and you tell me the books of the New Testament without using your Bible or a cheat sheet from your brilliant mind, I will bring to you a donut. A donut with or without sprinkles, your choice. Here's the other thing. If you amazing people can say all of the books of the Bible, Old Testament plus New Testament, there's a bonus prize in there for you. So let's get to work and give me a call. Let me know that you have studied and that you have mastered this skill. And do not forget, because I will bring you a donut. Are you ready? Let's say them together one more time. But this time, instead of being my echo, I want you to say it with me. Ready? Let's go. Let's clap our hands while we do it. Won't that be fun? Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, Acts, Romans, 1 Corinthians, 2 Corinthians, Galatians, Ephesians, Philippians, Colossians, 1 Thessalonians, 2 Thessalonians, 1 Timothy, 2 Timothy, Titus, Philemon, Hebrews, James, 1 Peter, 2 Peter, 1 John, 2 John, 3 John, Jude, and Revelation. Let me hear from you. I want to pray for you before we go today, okay? Let's pray together. Jesus, you are good and wise. I will praise you when I rise. Jesus, hear this prayer I send. Bless my family. Bless my friends. Jesus, help my eyes to see all the good you send to me. Jesus, help my ears to hear calls for help from far and near. Jesus, help my feet to go in the way that you will show. Jesus, help my hands to do all things loving, kind, and true. Jesus, guard me through this day in all I do and all I say. Amen. Have an amazing week, friends. I miss you and I look forward to seeing you next week. Let me hear from you if you know those books of the New Testament or the whole Bible. Bye, friends. Be strong and courageous this week.